Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, there are so many things wrong about this video that I'm about to do. Number one, I'm about to, for the first time on my channel, really go in on Texas. I haven't talked about Texas. I haven't talked about my alma mater women's basketball team this year yet. Haven't done it. I talked about a throwback. I did a throwback video about a month ago about our 1986 34-0 national championship team, but I haven't talked about Texas. I know some of that will shock some of y'all that I love my Texas Longhorns and yet I haven't talked about it because I like to keep it a buck. If Texas is great, believe me, I'm going to be talking about how great Texas is. If Texas isn't stinking it up, I'm going to be talking about it, and some folks won't like that. But let me tell you what else is crazy about this video. It's crazy that I'm wearing a red shirt. It's crazy that I'm wearing a red hoodie right now. And the reason it's crazy, well, first of all, the reason I'm wearing it is because this is, I can never get the mirroring right. This is the logo for one of the companies that I am happy to be an owner of. It's called the Athletic Club. It's in the Colony, and we're building sports facilities all over the country. But this is one of our hoodies, and we have a black one, we have a red one, we have a gray one, and we have a white one. And I just happen to be in red. Well, what's crazy about this, if you know anything about the Texas Longhorns, you know that a couple of our rivalries, their colors are in the shade of red. They're not completely red because it's kind of crimson-y, and y'all know who we're talking about. We're not going to even mention their name on this podcast today, although I may talk about them later. So usually when a Longhorn wears red, people are like, why are you wearing that color? And the same thing when they wear anything orange, people go, what? I know you're not wearing that color. So what's crazy is a few years ago, I bought a new SUV and it was crimson. It was legit Oklahoma's colors. And when I drove up, a friend of mine said, is this a rental? And I was like, no, it's not a rental. I got a good deal on this car. I got a pre-owned deal. I got a really good deal. I can't wait to drive my Ford Explorer. And they were like, are you kidding me? You have a red vehicle? And I was like, dude, y'all need to chill. It was a good deal. Even though it was red, it was a good deal. Some of y'all will identify with that because y'all bleed your school's colors. Which team's color do you bleed? Put it in the comments. Which color will you never be seen in public wearing? Put it in the comments. So yeah, that's the whole story about my red attire today. But back to Texas. Okay, back to Texas. I was kind of waiting to see what I thought about Texas before I got on here and did a video about Texas. Let's first talk about the transformation of the Texas women's basketball program that started in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yes, I think 2018 when Vic Schaefer became the head coach. All right? You guys know who Vic Schaefer is. He was at A&M. He was at Stephen F., I think, for a little while with Coach Blair, who used to be the coach at A&M, and then he was at Mississippi State, took them to Final Fours. Vic Schaefer is one of our game's greatest coaches. Period, point blank, not even up for debate. So when he got to Texas, we were like, okay, what is Vic going to do? How long is it going to take Vic to do what he does? And they were one step from the Final Four in year one. They were one step or two from the Final Four in year two. Like, that's been Vic's. Vic came in and said, we're going to win. We're going to be committed. We're going to look like this. We're not looking to just get to the playoffs. We're looking to go to Final Fours and win championships. And out the gate, that's pretty much what they started looking like they were doing. So for this season, because last year was candidly, it was a little disappointing. It left me with a sour feeling in my brain, a bad taste in my mouth about like, what are we doing? Right now, everybody can't stay at the top all the time. Everybody can't be UConn and win 10 NCAA championships. That was crazy when they did that. Everybody can't do that. But I do have very high hopes for my alma mater. So when we hired Vic, I was like, we are definitely going in the right direction. So last year, it just fizzled. It was terrible. They looked tired. They underperformed and underachieved as far as I'm concerned. And so coming into this season, I was like, I wonder what we're going to be like. And I started to hear about the recruiting classes. I started to hear about the ones that were coming in this year. And I was starting to get a little encouraged. So I went to the opening game. I went to the scrimmage. I went to the exhibition game. And then I went to one of their, I think the game right after the exhibition game. And then they had their first game. I watched that one on television because it was a little chilly for me and I didn't feel like leaving my home. But I watched it. And let me give you the rundown on the Texas Longhorns for this year. If you are not familiar with the person that it all starts with, it's going to be Rori Harmon, who is a third year. She's a junior out of the Houston area, Houston, Texas area. And Rori is the real deal. Rori is a 5'6" maybe guard, and has a phenomenal skill set. So what is great about Rori is that she loves the game and she plays like she loves the game, right? So she's not the biggest player on the floor, but she plays with a tremendous amount of heart, and she is extremely skilled from day one. As a freshman, she was doing things that you didn't see players do until maybe their third year in college, and just her handles, just her ability to pull up off the bounce, her court vision, her everything. She has a fairly amazing skill set. She has an amazing skill set. You can't have a fairly amazing skill set, but what I was going to say was she has a diverse skill set, and it's amazing. So the three things that I loved about Rori Harmon from the beginning, like I said, was she was a scorer. From the beginning, she was looking to score. And one of the things I think hurt her game last year was that she was looking to distribute a lot more, because she was the only point guard really Texas had after Sonia, can't remember Sonia's last name, went out last year. She was hurt, didn't really come back. So Rori was pulling full duty, 40 minutes playing the point position. And that's a lot. That's a lot to ask of a guard who is a scorer, because I could tell sometimes she would be passing when she should be shooting. Sometimes she would shoot when she should be passing. For me, it just kind of threw her game off. So I was wishing secretly last year that Rori had somebody who could come in, first of all, give her some rest, and then number two, someone could come in and let her play the two, let her be the swing guard, so she could be back in her bag like she was in high school and AAU and USA national team and scoring. But that didn't happen, and I candidly believe that's part of the reason why Texas didn't do so well last year, is because Rori had to do too much for 40 minutes playing the point position, and she didn't have enough help. So that's my thought on Rori Harmon. But she's phenomenal. This year she is playing better, just early preseason stuff, playing better, looking good, more vocal, because that is important. As much as some players don't like that to be a part of your game when you're a part of the game, when you are a point guard, it is very important. And I don't think the first 2 years that Rori is at Texas that she really embraced that, because it wasn't naturally her. I think what's naturally Rori is for her to go out there and ball out. That's who Rori is. Good teammate, works hard, pushing all the time, big heart. But part of being a great point guard is honestly communicating, running traffic on the floor, extension of the coach and all that. And so I can see Rori doing that a little bit more. And that takes time. Not everybody comes into the league or to that situation and just immediately starts telling people what to do. And we didn't see that with Rori, but we're seeing that now. And as a result, I think Texas looks a lot better just from the start. So that's Rori Harmon. Love her game. Can't wait to see her continue to develop in that. The last thing that Rori needs to really put into place is that three-point shot. She has a mid-range. She can pull up. She can take it to the hole. She can absorb. I mean, the bag is deep. The offensive bag is deep. But it does not include an efficient and a consistent three-point shot. And that's what will take Rori to the next level. Then I'm going to go to a post player who I candidly was like, I don't know if she's going to be able to really do anything at this level. She transferred. She was hurt a couple places. But her name just took, her name just fell out of my thing. Good gravy almighty. Let me find this out. This is real time, baby. We got to figure this out. Let me go this right now. UT Sports. Taylor. I didn't even find it. I didn't even get the chance to find it. Taylor Jones. It is Jones, right? Let me make sure that's right. This is crazy. I was literally about to talk about Taylor, and then I was like, I don't even remember. I'm about to say the wrong name. UT basketball. Yeah, Taylor Jones. There we go. While I have this pulled up, Taylor Jones right now is averaging 19 points, 8 rebounds, and shooting 68% from the field. Well, excuse me, 68.6% from the field. That's Taylor Jones. And I was a little like, last year, because I didn't see her just dominating. I was like, okay, maybe she won't be great on this, or maybe she won't. but I saw sparks and what do you call that? Glimpses of potential greatness with Taylor Jones last year. But then in the end, like I said, everybody for me just went flat. Everybody. It's not even just Taylor. It's like Rori was flat. All of them were flat last year. But this year, let me read this line again. Taylor Jones right now, and it's early, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 0.5 assists. As a post player, I didn't even mention that. 68.6. That is 15th highest in the NCAA Division I right now. Okay, so Taylor Jones is balling. She's 6'4" from Forney, Texas, which is a little east, maybe 20 miles from Dallas, east of Dallas. She's a senior, and she's playing great. She's playing really well. Taylor's playing really well. Come on, man. Taylor's playing really well. At 6'4", Taylor has developed her repertoire of post moves. Okay, she likes to go over her left shoulder, boom, little hook thing over there. She's got a nice step through. She's hitting the boards offensively. She is solid. She's solid. Think about a post player who she's not a great jumper. She's not going to leap over you. She's not going to do that. But she's deceptively quick around the basket because you don't know what she's going to do. And that's because she's worked on her footwork. She's worked on her moves around the basket. She's worked on her repertoire. She can go this way. She can go this way. She can go left hand. She can go right hand. She's dangerous. She's actually dangerous. And you might be tempted to sleep on Taylor Jones because she's not dunking over on your head, right? Because she's not pulling out to face up and shoot things, even though she can face up and shoot the 12 to 15 footer. But she is a key for Texas this year. We didn't know if she was coming back and those kinds of things because of the whole COVID thing or how many extra years she had, but definitely improved over the summer. I love it. I love to see it. And I think she will be kind of one of those aces in the hole for Texas. There is Deanna Gaston, very athletic, supposedly one of the best players on the team this year, but I haven't seen her play because I think she's hurt. She's out. So can't talk about Gaston because there's nothing to talk about. Then this is the last person I will probably talk about, and that is Madison Booker. Let's pull her up. Madison Booker is a freshman. Madison Booker reminds me of, who does Madison remind me of? Madison reminds me of, she's a big player, forward, stretch. She's really like a point center. So she's ranked, she came out of high school ranked number 12th recruit by ESPN in her class, 3-time USA basketball gold medalist at 2022 FIBA Under 17 Women's World Cup. Booker is a baller, okay? Look her up. Madison Booker is a bona fide baller. 6'1", first year, Germantown High School from Mississippi. So she knew Vic Schaefer. He recruited her. Talked about how great she was. Let me read a little bit of her line. 3-time All-State honoree in Mississippi. Averaged 16 points and 7 rebounds 2 years ago. Father played at USM. I'm assuming that's University of Southern Mississippi, maybe. She has 2 sisters, and she's intended to major in mechanical engineering. So Madison Booker, from what I've seen, that's a great line to read, but the real deal, everything comes on the court. Here's Madison Booker. Gets the ball off the rim, dribbles. Listen, you're never going to make Madison Booker go faster than she wants to go. I watched her in person, watched her on television a few days ago. She's leading the fast break. All these little bitty natty guards are, trying to turn her, and she's just like, she went between her leg, boom, dish that way, boom, 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 dime that way. She's just extremely skilled. But what I love most about her is that she can flat out score. Not just, she's a good shooter. She's a great shooter. But there's a difference between the shooter, just being a shooter, and then being a scorer. She's both. So she can shoot, but she can also score. So if you're going to leave her open, okay, she's going to knock that down. But the other thing she's going to do is if you disrespect her, she's going to take you to the hole, use that body, go to the basket, get an and one. That's who she is. That's who she is. Very smart player. A player that can really give Rori some relief at the point position. Think about it. She can get it off the glass. Who's going to guard her full court? Her player probably is not going to guard her full court. That gives Rori and the other players the opportunity to run the lanes, give Rori the chance to spot up on the wing, take it to the hole, off the dribble. right? We can see that Texas can be multidimensional because Madison Booker can play 5 positions. Point, period, point blank. Turn the book, change the book, turn the chapter, whatever I want to say. That's who Madison Booker is. And she's solid. I've heard some of the announcers calling the game like, oh, well, Vic wants her to, he's getting on her about her defense. He's getting on her about this, her effort or whatever. I don't want to hear all that. She's a freshman. Every freshman has some transition to the next level. And a lot of times it's whatever you had to do in high school is not nearly enough to prepare you for the next level. Even the best players, even Juju Watkins out at USC, even Michaela, even Malaysia over at South Carolina. You can think you're ready for the next level, but no matter how good you were in high school, you never had to work as hard as you're going to have to work when you get to college. And once you leave college, you're never going to have to work as hard as you have to play in the pros. So Madison Booker is having her transition moment for Texas. But make no doubt about it, make no mistake, this player is good. She's a baller. She's going to be great. She is, one of those players that if they are allowed to go pro their junior year, she probably will go. She's that good. So that's my summary for Texas for the 2023-24 season at this point. Just a quick early look at the University of Texas, my Longhorns. I love what I see about Texas at this point. I think they're competitive. I think they're ranked exactly where they need to be. I think as of yesterday, they were something like 11 or 12. I think that's fine. We don't need to get crazy about anything. They're not Carolina, candidly. They are not. But they are very good. They are very strong. They are well coached. And I think they're going to sneak up on some folks. They're going to play last season in the Big 12. We'll talk about the Big 12. Texas going to the SEC another time. But last season in the Big 12, and they are predict to win that. So we will see what happens. All right. So that's Texas. And of course, as we sign off on everything else, hook 'em. We'll see you in the next one, y'all.